Madhya Pradesh are Ranji Trophy champions at last. Now, of course, before any of you point out the most obvious thing, yes, I know that they have previously won the Ranji Trophy under their former name of Holkar, but this is the first time that Madhya Pradesh as a state has been crowned Ranji Trophy champions under their current guise, so we're counting it as their first time victory. And obviously it was a feel-good moment as such for Indian cricket in the domestic league because, well, Madhya Pradesh were the underdogs going into this final. They were up against the Mumbai team that have forever been the dominant side in domestic cricket, and not only did they end up winning the match, they did so in quite convincing fashion. And it was obviously a big moment for the boys of Madhya Pradesh and of course their coach Chandrakant Pandit, who of course we're going to get to very soon. But before we get into everything, let's just go very clear that this video is going to be talking about the main reasons behind MP's success and of course the things that led to them finally breaking their Ranji Trophy jinx and getting that all elusive first title. Now, the first reason, if you ask me, why they've had such success this year was of course their coach Chandrakant Pandit. Now, Chandrakant Pandit, as we know, before this season had won 5 Ranji Trophy titles as a coach, but he never won a single trophy as a player. Incidentally, the last time that Pandit came close to winning the trophy, the Ranji Trophy, was when he was captaining Madhya Pradesh, the last time that they made the Ranji Trophy final all the way back in 1999. Now, we all know how that final ended. It ended with a defeat for MP despite the fact that they were in a very strong position, and the everlasting image from that match was the image of Pandit breaking down and being in tears, knowing the fact that he had squandered what many saw was a golden opportunity for them to actually win the Ranji Trophy at last. Well, now he has his redemption, and it couldn't have come at a better time because of course, as we know, MP hadn't made the final since then, and the first time that they managed to do it under Pandit, they ended up winning it. And of course, not this adds an illustrious 6th Ranji Trophy title to Pandit's trophy cabinet as a coach, because remember, he's not only won he's won 5 of them before, 3 of them incidentally coming with Mumbai, the team who he was facing in the final this time around, and 2 came with Vidarbha. And now he finally has that elusive Ranji Trophy with his home state of Madhya Pradesh. And of course, it is worth noting out that we're pointing out the fact that he's won 6 trophies means that he clearly has the tactical nous and strategic brain required to coach a team to win this trophy, which of course, as we know, is a major trophy in Indian cricket if we're talking about the domestic scene. So the fact is that he could do it, and it was a great redemption story for him, but it's also quite an easy thing to say that this win might not have been possible were it not for Pandit's astute coaching. But of course, we can't take anything away from the players and 2 of the biggest stars when it comes to MP's campaign this time around. The first of them was Rajat Patidar. Now, obviously, Patidar is someone who's made a mark in the IPL as well. In fact, in the IPL 2022, he was playing for the Royal Challengers Bangalore. He ended up scoring a century in the eliminator during the playoffs, which is a massive thing. So he's clearly not someone who's an unknown of that sort, but he showed that he's not just an IPL or white ball specialist, because he was MP's highest run scorer this season. Now, as we can see, his numbers for this season are pretty impressive. He had 6 matches. He batted in 9 innings, scored 658 runs, averaging 82.25, and his highest score of the year was 142. Now, it's worth noting that Patidar was the 2nd highest run scorer in this Ranji season. The 1st highest run scorer, of course, being Sarfaraz Khan from Mumbai, who, by the way, outscored him by quite some margin because he had 952 runs. But that says a lot about the fact that Patidar, despite getting to 300 runs less, was able to be such an instrumental batsman for the team. In fact, fittingly, it was him who took the single that ended up clinching the trophy for MP. He was there in the middle, and the MP boys probably knew that as long as he was there, they were getting home very easily, and that is exactly what happened. But of course, it is worth shouting out the fact that besides Rajat Patidar, MP had 2 other batsmen who also exceeded the 600 run mark, meaning that they weren't entirely reliant on Patidar, and that they had a very well-rounded batting lineup and a very good team, which is again something that we're going to come to in just a bit. But let's look at the bowler who impressed for them the absolute most. And that is Kumar Kartikeya, again another player who, if you were watching the IPL this season, you would have doubtless been familiar with, because Kumar Kartikeya got a few games for the Mumbai Indians this year. And obviously, He didn't cover himself in much glory there, but the same thing can be said about the team because they didn't exactly have the best of years, ended with a wooden spoon. But Kartikeya was someone who clearly had a bit of guile, and the fact is he's a very unique proposition as a spinner. Not only can he bowl left arm orthodox spin, but he can also bowl left arm wrist spin. And in the IPL, you saw him vary up those deliveries quite a few times. It is quite the rarity if you're a left arm spin bowler that you are able to master both arts, and Kartikeya did that pretty well. But of course, in the Ranji, in domestic scenes, particularly in the 4-day format, he mostly operates as an orthodox bowler, and it's easy to understand why he had quite a lot of success this time around as well. Again, 6 matches he played and he bowled in 11 innings, and he ended up with 32 wickets, and his best innings which he had, the best figures in an innings, was 6 for 50 and a pretty decent average that too of 21. Now obviously, again, like I was talking about their batting lineup, they weren't necessarily always entirely reliant on Kartikeya, but the fact is he again did shine in the finals, which showed that while he might not be the only player they rely on, when he did well, more often than not they won, and bear in mind they won quite a lot this season, MP, and Kartikeya was a key part of that. But perhaps the biggest reason, in my opinion, for their success was, well, the fact that Madhya Pradesh as a team were greater than the sum of their parts. Now, if you look at the Madhya Pradesh side as such, there's no real star power that stands out, or there's no one star player who's, head and shoulders above the rest. I mean, contrast that to the Mumbai team, which was full of stars. I mean, they're led by Prithvi Shaw, who's a fully capped India international. Their best batsman this year was Sarfaraz Khan, who is someone who we've known for years, has a lot of potential, but hasn't quite been able to show that in the limited chances that he's got on bigger stages. He did very, very well, and that Mumbai team is stacked chock-a-block full of talent. Again, remember, the highest run scorer of this Ranji season was Sarfaraz Khan, and the highest wicket taker was Shams Mulani. Both of them play for Mumbai, yet the simple fact is they didn't end up winning the trophy, which shows that in a team game, it's oftentimes not just individual contributions that matter, it's how well you play as a team, and that is something that MP were very, very good at. Everyone kind of pitched in at their key moments, and remember, they ended up not losing a single game this year, so that itself is quite the achievement in its own right too. But the thing is that one of the bigger achievements that they made was the fact that they managed to go the distance despite not having quote-unquote star players. They had some very good players, and they were captained by a very astute captain and coached by a coach who knew exactly how to win this trophy. But the fact of the matter is, they didn't have the most star-studded squad, or no one was actually picking MP as favorites going into this season. Yet, it is them who have ended up winning the trophy, and for that, they deserve a lot of credit because, as I said, they weren't very fancied in that regard, and they didn't have much in terms of star power. But everyone pitched in, they were a well-drilled side, they played for each other, everyone contributed when it mattered most, and in the end, that is what took them to Ranji Trophy glory for the first time. With that, we bring a conclusion to this particular video and this little explainer / list that we've done. If you enjoy what it is that we do and you are joining us, I thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. Don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, leave us a comment below, and of course, last but not least, tap the bell icon so that you know every single time when it is that we're going live or we're posting a new video for your entertainment. Thank you once again for joining us. As always, I've been Shane Rice, and I will be with you guys very, very soon. In fact, I'll be with you guys throughout this night. So, bye-bye.